Margaret Ann, thank you so much. And Denny and lads, thank you for joining me today as I go through a talk about change. Uh, Conversation is got any and getting perspective on it. The issue being that sometimes we don't have the right perspective on our change. My name is Bernie Franzgrote from Kreativ Insight Consultants. And you know what? I'm going to have to do something a little fantastic here on my screens because it's not responding. And there we go. So it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It's the one that's most adaptable. And I think that is the most true from what I've seen over my how old am I going to say I am? Well, 60 plus years or 60 years. Um, People adapting to change. I've seen people immigrate to the country and they've overcome odds that were incredible. And they're not necessarily the smartest people or some of them are actually pretty intelligent. Um, they've adapted and that's been the key. That's how they survived. And next screen. So influencers of change. What are things that influence change? It's our bodies. We age. Um, there was a point in time where I was talking to a neighbor, and he was a merge physician, and I said, "Geez, Rez, why do I need glasses? Like, what the heck am I doing wrong with my body?" He says, "Most guys at age 40 have to get glasses. That's one of those things that happens in life." And I was 43 at the time, and well, okay, I've got 3 years extra time on that whole thing, so I thought that was pretty cool. And so life economics. I mean, we've gone back. If you think back to World War II, things have changed a lot. So much so that the the economy, the number of people coming back from wartime efforts, wartime housing have changed. And then we had something else pop around recently that's pretty catastrophic and large for the universe, or that we know, COVID. And that's just changed everything that everybody does, how they do it, when they do it, why they do it. And for those that don't adapt well, they suffer the consequences. And we see that throughout the world and in different places where they don't pay attention, or kids that are having street parties, even in our own country. So then we have time. Time changes everything, except something within us. Sometimes we know time's changing, but sometimes we're surprised by that change, and we don't understand what's happening. I remember one time looking at my daughter when she was 10, and she was crashed out on a couch, and all of a sudden I'm looking over and I caught a glimpse of her, and I thought, oh my gosh, she's changed. I mean, I've been there for the entire 10 years, but I remember cradling her at one point in time, and I'm going, what happened? And it was an epiphany, just kind of slaps you in the forehead. Even when you get to the point where you're at retirement and all of a sudden, oh, I'm going for that goal, I'm going for that end line, and you get there like, okay, now what do I do, right? And times come along, or like getting used to something new like TikTok, the just adapting and getting into it. So that brings me into my next piece. It's perspective. What do you see here? All right, do you see a woman, or do you see two horses that are up in the air? All right, so how we have our perspective and our mindset also influences how we adapt to change. Our influencers of change. Are we open to it? Are we closed to it? Are we only fixated? So one of the greatest fears that I've had in my past years, and I watch it when people are growing as they age, is that sometimes they get so fixated, they become so rigid that they lose sight of what's actually going on in their lives or around them, right? And they can't change up to what's going on. So know thyself. And that's kind of a real important thing. So first piece is Maslow's hierarchy. Very, very simple thing. Your basic needs, if they're not being met, it doesn't matter, planning for 5 years out. These are the things that are mattering to you right now. These are your drivers. Are you hungry? Do you get enough sleep? Is there food? And then as you go up the hierarchy, then you're going to notice, it's more social needs. Well, I'm not worried about my hunger. I'm not worried about where my next meal is coming from. Now I'm wondering, how I'm engaging other people. Am I connecting with people, right? And then it goes up along that. Other drivers in that piece, culture. Culture is a very big thing. People coming from different countries, they have certain approaches. There are certain expressions, hand gestures that would be normal for us, but not normal for them, or would be normal for them, but would be a sign of disrespect if you displayed them. All right. Then we get into other piece, your health maintenance. Are you resting? Are you eating right? Are you moving right? Are you exercising? Playing sports? Are you socializing? And for all of us, it's not one size fits all, but these are different things that we take at different levels. One of the things of late I took was the predictive index from Predictive Success. This particular test, super simple, 6 minutes to do. And right here, what you're seeing in front of you right now is my scoring. I'm considered a collaborator. What does that mean? Well, that means the top one is dominance. So the center line is like at 0, so you're perfectly balanced and what you're doing. So I'm a little bit on the dominant side. If I'm hard right, I'm a drill instructor. If I'm hard left, uh, almost anything can go. Then the next one is how extroverted I am. So apparently I'm a B, so I'm not too bad. And then the C is how patient I am, right? And my sociable, and that depends, for all of us, it will depend. That can vary. And then the very last one, formality. Am I really, really tied to formality? And so what ended up happening as an end result for this, I'm the type of person that will get that round peg into the square hole and everything's right as rain. And that's not ideal for all jobs, right? But understanding that's key. Then calm during the storm. Earlier today, I was talking with someone. We were talking about motor vehicle accidents, and sometimes when you're actually going through a major event, a major crisis, you're having life-changing moments happening in front of you, and you're in a car and you're going for a skid, and you're steering into the skid, etc. And you're breathing, you're keeping calm, keeping your options. Staying calm means then you're going to manage through a difficult time, or you're going to think through things. There was a program that I used to teach called Nonviolent Crisis Intervention, and part of the key was not to get so emotionally bound up or wound up into a circumstance, because you lose your clarity of thought, right? And once you have your clarity of thought going, this is different, this is a problem, or not an ideal circumstance or a situation. It can even be beneficial. How do I work through this? How do I get the best results out of the whole situation? And that is really, really a kind of a useful trait to have if you can sustain that inner calm. It doesn't happen all the time. All right. In my previous job, there would be people in there, they'd find that one thing that will hook into you to trigger you, and that kind of screws it up for you. So always important to stay calm. So in a personal perspective, what have I found? First off, not in a rut. That's my greatest fear. Change is taking you out of the rut. Change is providing you opportunities, right? It's the end of the day, I can't. My ideal place would not to be inside a factory doing the same thing every day, in and out, and nothing changes. That would numb me down. Not that it's a bad thing to be that way. People offset that. So someone who might be in a factory will have other things going on outside their life that balance that out. For me, the way I am, I'm a socializer. I am a synergy architect. I like to connect with people, and that's really key. All right. So then the other part is opportunity. I like the opportunities. I find that some people are going, I don't want to make a choice. I do. I want to make a choice. Am I going to be 100% bang on and happy with all my choices? Probably not. Then again, is it a bad thing? Sometimes we have to come across things and do things to grow and expand our own horizons, right? Expectations. What are your expectations? Being nimble and humble. I go to different networking events, places where you meet people. I don't go in with an expectation, oh, this person is going to give me something or I'm going to get something from that person. I go in going, who is this person? What is so cool about them? What can I do to help them? In fact, all right. It's like, if you're hitchhiking across the highways, right? You ain't gonna know what you're gonna get. You may get a sense of it based on what the car looks like, but you don't know what you're gonna get. You'll be open-minded to figure out what's going to happen and how to respond to it. Okay. Now, adaptation is about having fun. So, I mean, I picked this one out because it's a kid having fun, and the toes. You see the toes, right? And you know what? You're just having some fun with something. I've come up with an idea. I've come up with a process. I'm on a journey, and you're having fun with it, and that's really key. That's part of the art of enjoying life, having fun at it. Because if you're having fun at it, it's not really a labor. It's more something that you're enjoying, and it keeps you agile. The other part I've come across since retirement, working at an institution, I've come across something really interesting. In the last few years of working at that institution, I did not go out and network, and that was my only regret. And what I've found now is I've networked in the last year, and in 2020, everything kind of shifted around how I network, but it becomes part of a tribe. There are people that are resources that I would talk to, appreciate their advice, bounce ideas off of, or conversely, they would do the same back for me. And also, I'm also networking. I'm meeting new people, and that has been it's refreshing. It's almost like learning new things, becoming involved in new things. So, what's changed since March 2020 when COVID hit? Zoom. I've used Zoom. I spent the $200 fee for the year, and I've gotten more meetings, which is great. Zoom has been a force multiplier. The more meetings, I've connected with more individuals, and it's actually made for less travel time. And I'm going, that's not bad. That means less expense. The car expenses are down, my food expenses are down, except when I'm eating at home and or go shopping at a Costco or something like that. But it's been offset. What I've lost in one area, I've gained in another. All right, it's adapting to that. New businesses, I've come across new opportunities. We're in that space right now, and I'll talk about it a little later on. But there's another company I'm involved with where we're importing equipment from another country, and then the projects are more varied. It's like acquiring people, getting used to setting up information sessions in a Zoom environment, reaching out to past connections, going, "Hi, we have an opportunity here. Do you want to come in and play in this space?" And the clients are more varied, and the clients have been, although Kreativ Insight is focused on health and non-for-profit, the clients have varied in the nature of what they need. One day someone asked me, so what do you do for a living? And I say, I do stuff. And then I started explaining, these are the different people that I have business relationships with that I can help you, or you can help them. And the other thing I've come across is the networks. The networks are starting to be international. This goes back to the very top when we were talking about Zoom. Zoom is just, you know people locally, but now you can broaden your spectrum out and to reach people around the world. The only time difference is time difference. When it's 2 in the afternoon for them, it might be 6 in the morning for you, right? So you just, that's about the only thing you have to kind of adapt to, right? But if the nature of what's going on in that communication is that worthwhile, that's not a bad thing. So projects. So connect Ottawa business people, sharing how and who. That's been one of the projects, and it's been a really good adventure, and it has a lot more to give, a lot more yield to have, right? So Clean Shield Solutions, it's the PPE world, personal protection equipment world, and that's from the COVID. It's driven from COVID, but in this particular case with this company, we're importing a special airlock, and it's designed to let you walk through, and it sprays you with a mist. It's actually more like a humidifier, and you're walking through, and it's designed to knock off any COVIDs. But there are other side benefits out of that, and the side benefits, it goes after H1N1, C. diff, funguses, bacteria, things that are harmful, that are touch contact transmittable things. Then we have a golf tournament supporting a charity, and this is really cool. I'm part of the Serendipity group as a board, on the board of the directors, and so this makes it worthwhile to help promote this. But also it's an opportunity because Connect Ottawa has that element. That's stuff they've done in the past, and if what you're getting out of all this is that, gee, Bernie, you're in like 4 or 5 different areas. Yeah, I am. So it's all manageable because, again, I'm working inside a community of people, all right? Then here's a new one coming up, Lead Feast, social media and a co-op program. This is through Carleton University launch. One of my good contacts and good friends, Jordan St. Jacques, he's working on a project. And in this particular case, he's using high school students where they learn a skill set within the Carleton University through a co-op. And now he's spreading that out through Ontario. In this case, he's coming up with a new platform to help track hashtags and then drive it towards businesses. And so the goal here in this instance is that if you're looking for people that are in a certain market that would hashtag whatever the issue is or whatever the circumstances, and that's your target audience, this particular software platform hunts it out, or searches it out. Change in strategy. So what has been my change in strategy? Well, I'm still doing business to business. That hasn't changed whatsoever. But I participate with online groups. All right. So Phoenix Business Exchange, Ottawa Board of Trade, TIE with the entrepreneurs, and Grand Connection is just a really good example of some online groups. And that's where I'm networking. I'm reaching out. I'm finding more people. And some of this broadens out and becomes international. You'll see that in the TIE and the Grand Connection group. These people are across the globe. It's not that I'm trying to shift where I am or what I'm doing, but these people are offering other pieces of information. So the stuff that makes me happy, that fills my hierarchy of needs, is that that communication. I need that flow around me to see what's going on. We all need that flow, and that helps us adapt to what's going on. Going, oh, that's coming up ahead. What does that all mean, right? Because something new comes up doesn't mean you understand it. Right? It means that, okay, I see that this will have some yield, but what else can I learn about it? Can I get some more information around it? Then hosting events and promoting others. And here we are in Connect Ottawa Business People, right? Working with Margaret Ann Davis and Denny Brown and Timothy Flam. we're helping businesses connect with each other. It's a sharing of information. It's a community, and again, part of that tribe, part of connecting with other people, helping promote them. At the same time, someone was saying, listen, if we do a pitch fest, what is that? What are the outcomes for everybody? Well, yeah, I'm making new connections. I'm learning what's new. Is there a chance to make some revenue streams? It never hurts to make revenue streams. It's always handy, right? And then rebranded the Kreativ Insight website, KI. It's been upgraded, so it has a lot new information. And this is where I utilized different folks. Like there's Andrew Fitch's, from Blue Ancora, and Denny Brown, and we worked hand in hand, kind of scripting and matching it. There's some things I'm good at. There's some things I'm not good at, and so I rely on people around me to help me, right? Pay for their services, of course, but that's what's useful, right? That's what makes things happen, right? What else to tell you about this? Oh yeah, the online piece. Some of the stuff, they're low-hanging fruit for people to work with, right? To help get your brand out there. Even when we're talking about the Connect Ottawa, that's also a soft sell of your services. And so if you're actually watching this video at this point, and if you're interested in how to share and get yourself out there, get your brand out there, get your knowledge out there, share with somebody, this is the perfect environment for that. So tools have changed. So we have Zoom. I bought the package, right? Events.com. It's a free resource. It's been great dealing with Ben. He's been a great resource to go back and forth with. But what better way to post your events up and getting up there? Meetup is another tool that works out well, and it's part of your community, right? Letting everybody know what's going on. LinkedIn, I scaled up to Navigator, and it's been really useful. I mean, LinkedIn itself is really useful. It is on the business side. For some of us, it's Facebook. For me, it's LinkedIn, right? So Facebook, it's not my sweet spot for business. However, to say any social media platform is good, right? If that's where your client base sits, and that's where you can connect, that's where you want to be. And then, of course, YouTube. It's a library. And again, going back to Connect Ottawa, you'll find out there's a whole library of people that have been interviewed, and it's been varied. Everybody from commercial real estate, IT, to chiropractor, all right? How to sit right. So, resources. What resources do you have in your universe? So one of the people that had spoken was Lalith from Sage, Ontario, and he does mindfulness training. That's kind of one of the best things you can actually have, just getting your head space in the right space. Body flexibility. Shane, he's awesome. I kind of wrecked my knee a little bit a while ago, and I can't say that the expression of you have to have a bit of pain to have some gain. Well, yeah, there's a bit of pain on the recovery path, but he does a really good job. He also has been one of our guest speakers, and in this particular case, he was telling us how to if you're seated for long periods of time, what to do with your body, how to move it around, right? How to keep it limber, when to get up and start moving around, right? So you don't feel like you're all bent up and out of shape. Predictive success. If you want a link to that, I can send you a link, and that's how you can do a scoring of yourself, knowing yourself, right? When you know what stresses you out, what works well. Better yet, people that work with you, if they have a sense of what's up about them, or you have a better sense about what's about them, you understand what to push and pull. If you're dealing with a drill instructor, you know he's not going to be laissez-faire, right? You got to be succinct and to the point, right? Versus other people who be the quintessential hippie, they're a little more relaxed, right? And sometimes you can see it, you can figure it out. You don't need a test, but they can, if you get the test done, you can scope out, okay, here are the balances. You can even do a test on the job to find the best fit. And this is how you do even management enhancements, like when you're moving people up into the hierarchy of the system. Well, what do they need to be successful still? Right. And then, of course, I'm going to go back to Connect Ottawa, and it's not because I'm part of it, but it has been a very useful space. It can be a useful tool for a business, and it allows you to reach out and connect into people. So outcomes. So I meet new people and new experiences, and you know what? I love it. I love it. The experiences is everything. It's like fresh air. You're getting to see new things. All right, and that can never be a problem. New opportunities, they're always there. If you're, again, you're assuming you're not having the blinders on and you're just so focused, you can sit back and you're in a calm space and you can look out and say, well, what am I seeing? What are the options here? What else can work with this? Right, and half of it is like going, that's a really cool idea, let's try it on this as a solution, or with this as a client. Building multiple revenue streams. This is never a bad thing, right? So if you have different lines of work that are feeding back, again, it's not to overwhelm you, but it's more like it provides stability. Not all your eggs are in one basket. If you're more diverse, the more ability you have to survive a shock. COVID is a good example of that. Even later on, if you're doing financial matters, you don't put all your funds in one basket. You try to keep it diverse. All right. And then always learning more. It becomes a Zen outcome. And when you're at peace and calm and content, things are easier to handle and manage. And this brings me to the end of my chat. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without.